G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and apologies for having not made anything for a little while. Basically there wasn't really much to film. I was just doing all these little sort of like bits and pieces, you know, like a little bit of heat shrinking here and there, and a little bit of touch-ups and what have you. But basically what I was trying to do was get all the little knickknacks tied in on this floor pan and get her all finished up and ready to be primed completely, and pretty much that's what I've done. So yeah, pretty much she's all finished all the way through. The only thing that I'm not convinced is not 100% done is these quarter panels. I'm just not sure about the actual profile with how they blend in with the bottom of these other ones, because these are 40mm lower than a stock standard one. So there is a chance that I may actually extend them down 30 or 40mm just at the front here, just to give it the correct profile. But I'm not going to worry about that right now, because that's really just a cosmetic thing, and I've sort of got to convince myself to just forget about all the cosmetic stuff for now, because what we're doing is we're getting it ready for the beam testing, which is to basically, I guess, figure out if this thing is stronger than a factory one. So yeah. So what we've got to do is we've got to go ahead and we've got to put the IRS in, and then we're going to have to come up the front here and put all the tubular upper and lower control arms in, the rack and pinion, and then we've got to basically make, instead of putting the normal shocks in, which are coilovers, we've got to basically make like a solid piece to go in where the shock is, so it'll just be like a piece of pipe or whatever. The reason being is when they do the torsion beam test, they can't have any flex or any type of shock or anything in it, so it's got to be sort of like locked in, rigid. So, and it's got to be pretty much, you know, close to where the ride height would be, as I understand it. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So stick around, I hope you enjoy it. Let's start putting the suspension and stuff in this thing. I suppose we should probably get a light on here, eh? Sort of weave that.
Yep.
And then weave it the other way a little bit. Yep. No, I don't know if it's high enough.
Yeah, I think shocks come up another 50mm.
Okay, do you want to jump on
Yep.
that?
Let's do it more fast.
Yep. Okay. Now we'll weave it again. There.
Oh, hang on.
Hit something on the floor.
Yeah, just on this. There we go.
So, back to me a bit. Have to make sure these springs are actually located correctly, you know? Yep. What we'll do is we'll just lower it down just until that donut thing goes inside the spring so it's located, and then we'll worry about our holes, huh?
Going to be 3 now.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to have to wind or
back to you,
Hagen wind.
Well, if you want, I can
You want to do both?
Alright. There she goes. Slowly. Just hold it there. So these are kind of like a bracing type thing, which I made for the front, but I don't remember how it goes. You know, you'd think a bloke would have marked them left and right.
That makes too much sense. We don't use sense around here.
I know, I seem to be immune from it.
No, we just kind of wing it.
What's the best way to build a car? Wing it. It makes the most amount of sense if I do it like that. but it's bound to be wrong. It is wrong because the holes don't line up. So that goes on the other side. So that's, is that, oh, I'll just try it, see if it goes up or not. Right, hang on a sec. The whole thing has to go backwards. So it's the main bolt goes up into the chassis to hold the IRS subframe in, but these brackets are basically to brace the mount itself against the chassis as well, because the whole subframe is mounted on a big rubber bush. Alright, so we finally got that mess sorted out. It was just about the technique. You had to get the right angle bedangle, and then once that was done, then you just had to like shimmy it up in there, you know what I'm saying? Probably not, because I don't.
A bit of finesse.
Huh?
Just a bit of finesse.
Finessing. Looking okay. So I think what we might do now, so I pretty much got to work out like a solid shock type system. You know, like instead of having the shock absorber in there, it's just got to be like a solid bar or pipe so that the suspension can't move. That's for the purpose of the testing. Yeah, get rid of this thing, whack the wheels on, and then maybe set up some type of blocking system so that it'll stop on this and push the control arm up without the wheel touching the ground, because I want to be able to still get under here and measure. And then once the weight is all on the control arms, then I can go ahead and get a measurement for that solid shock. So we'll do that next. Yeah. Okay. Now that we've got all the suspension on, I can go ahead and get this car set up with the wheels and lower it down to ride height, and then get all the measurements I need for the solid bracing that's going in place of where the shock absorbers would normally be. So the IFS that I've installed on this car was supplied by United Speed Shop in Newcastle, New South Wales, and the work that's put out by that shop is outstanding. It's really high quality stuff, and what Ryan and the boys up there were able to do, they were actually able to slightly modify the standard Magnum setup to accept our Brembo brakes. We've got these 6-spot calipers and large rotors, which came off the original donor car, the GT Mustang. So that's really good that we're able to utilise the complete braking system off that donor car.
Just blows on the ground and floats.
Alright guys, that's about it for this week's episode. I'm quite happy that we've got it down on the wheels and looking cool. We can really see where we're heading now with this thing, I think. And looking at the sills, I'm happy with how the sills have turned out, but I am inclined to think that when I look at it from this angle, that I could leave it, but I'm inclined to think that I probably will add a piece on the bottom. But it's really cosmetic. It's just to catch that downward profile. Yeah, so anyway, like I say, that's about it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll kick off again hopefully next week with some additional material. What's left to do is the boot. I need to reskin the boot, but I wasn't going to do that before the torsion beam test, so let's leave that up in the air. We've got to go ahead and fit the bonnet, obviously. We've got to also, there is a support here that used to originally hold the bonnet catch, but it also acts as a bracket for the grille. So I'll go ahead and put the headlight frames in. What do you call them? I don't know. Frames, hold headlights, you know, they've got springs and stuff on them, I don't know. Anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll put them on, and we'll probably fit up the grille, and that'll help us determine exactly where this upright is going to go, and then we'll make that, and then we'll attach it to that top of the radiator support. So we'll get that done, then we'll get the bonnet on. I'm probably not going to latch the bonnet at this stage because it doesn't have to be latched for the test. In fact, it has to be unlatched. And then I've got one final thing which is up in the air, and that's the cover for the plenum. Even though I've made it like probably 10 times, I'm still not 100% sure I want to use it. So we'll figure that out later. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.